What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another Vizzy Inks video. I know it's been a minute or a little minute, maybe not, maybe whatever. Cool. Don't mind this. Just ignore that if you can. It came out of nowhere. I don't know why, but it's there. Listen, I see y'all in the comments. I see it. I know. I'm working on getting a microphone. But for now, in the time being, I'm gonna just work on speaking a little bit louder so that y'all can hear me. All right, so that's as best as it's gonna get for right now until I can get my hands on the microphone. It's coming soon. I got y'all, I promise. If you haven't go checked out the last video, I went over part 2 of my fake skin tour, so you can go check that out. Fire is dope. For this video, I'm gonna show you a couple of techniques that you can use in order to get better with drawing, especially if you don't consider yourself an artist or you feel like you're not that good at drawing, any of that. This video, I'm gonna show you some tips, some tricks that's gonna help you to become better with that, and we're just gonna take it from there. So we're gonna get right into the video. Alright guys, so the first method we're going to talk about is the tracing method. This could work either with a light box or an iPad. For my example, I'm going to be using the iPad. What I'm going to do is take this sheet of paper, place it over, and you kind of have your natural light box. I made it a little bit darker in here just so you can see it better on the camera screen here. So I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in a bit just so you can see. So I have this sheet of paper over this, and although it is touchscreen, you want to be a little bit careful because with the touchscreen, stuff like that can happen, and just don't want that. So you're just going to lightly hover over and just kind of lightly trace. And then once you're done tracing, you could just clean it up once you take the paper off. Just get like the basic shapes and make sure it's very light so that you can easily erase any mistakes. You don't want to get too much detail in here because this is only to help practice and get you more familiar with just kind of drawing in a sense, but you don't want to like lose any information, or you just want to gain as much knowledge as possible. Some people may consider this cheating, but it's not really cheating. It's just a tool used to help enhance your skills. I finished tracing. I'm going to remove this, slide the iPad back. After removing it, you trace it, you kind of have a general idea of how this works with tracing. With the tracing, you just want to do like the basic line work. You don't want to get too detailed in it and you know, kind of cheat your way out of actually learning about, you know, like the values and getting details and stuff like that. This is supposed to just help as a guide into it, and then you just kind of fill in the spaces for yourself. So like the little details here, so you know that that is over here, so you just want to maybe like add the 2 little lines right there. It's like a little bit thing here. It's like a didn't close it off. So this is just a way to help you understand portions, values, where stuff will go. And this could also help with muscle memory. You can also do shading. You got some shading there, got some shading here, and this just helps you with that aspect. So tracing is not cheating. It's just a tool or a method to help you understand line work. Okay, the next method we have is what I like to call the stencil tracing method. All right, so basically what that's going to be is the same thing that you would do if you was to make this into a stencil, but we're going to use it as a tool similar to tracing, but I'm going to show you what I mean with that. But the first step before we do that, you're going to take any pencil you have, graphite pencil, preferably something that's dark, maybe even like a charcoal if you have. We're going to flip this paper around and we're going to shade the entire back of this page. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I have my pencil and I'm just going to literally So what you want to do to verify that you got pretty much the entire thing covered is when you lift up, you can see like through, like I missed this area here, so I'm going to go back in this area. I just want to use a light source just to see that you pretty much covered the entire area, which I pretty much did, just like this part over here. So I'm just going to go over that, and then I'm going to show you the next step. So we have that done. What I'm going to do now is flip this paper over, put it to the side. I'm going to get a hard surface, just like a book or anything. Now what I'm going to do is get a piece of paper, place that over top. Then I'm going to place this paper directly on top of it. I'm going to even it out. So I'm going to do is add some tape so that my paper is not moving all around. Just put one at the top, one at the bottom. Okay, I switched the angle a bit just so you can see exactly what I'm doing. What I'm going to use is a pen for this so that I can clearly see the lines that I'm going over. Essentially, this is similar to if you was to trace over a stencil, right? So what I'm going to start doing is the harsh areas that are dark, use a solid line and trace over that. Make sure you're applying pressure, like a lot of pressure, because if you don't, then it's not really going to work. And you're just going to do that for the entire page, but you're going to treat this like a stencil. So what I mean by that is, so like here I'm going to add dashes instead of a harsh line, and this is a good help and practice because one, you'll have your proportions and everything already there, and then two, you kind of get familiar with the values and how this will work if you were to create a stencil for tattooing, and then actually getting familiar with doing the tattoo, if that makes sense, without using the tattoo machine. So basically when we finish with this, we're gonna I'm gonna show like a little sample of using pencils just to get that shading and values as if you were to use it as a tattoo machine. So I'm gonna do this for the whole page and I'm gonna come back when this is done. I pretty much finished the outline of pretty much just the basic shape, like the bigger parts. I didn't get too much of the details, but I'm gonna show the reveal of how this works. So remember, we put the stuff at the bottom here, we traced over it, and what shouldn't reveal at the bottom, and underneath will be just like a rough general idea or a sense of the picture. So you can clearly see that this is the rose and it's the correct proportion, correct size. And with the stencil stuff, I'm gonna show you right now. Let's take my pencil. Let's say I want to focus on this area here. I'm gonna look at my reference and see that this part will be shaded, and this is the light part. So I'm just doing like a rough thing of it, and over here would be shaded, and this serves as my guideline for the values, which is similar to tattooing. You're constantly cross-referencing the reference. You want to have it close by and just understand how this will work. So let's see, here's like a little bit darker, so maybe I'll shade a little bit darker in this area, going into the light, you know, it's a little bit darker here, and just so on and so forth. You're just using this as a guideline. Like over here, these three lines, it's like a little bit dark on the opposite side, so it's the light sources coming from here. Same thing with this part. Darkest values are here, so you can press a little bit harder here. So you see here, the dark transitions into a light. So now just a bit lighter. And you can always just kind of blend the two so it's a smoother transition where the line is at. But all in all, this just kind of serves as a guideline for your drawing, and this is just one method that can help to improve your shading, your values, your artwork, line work, and just overall your skills as an artist. So now we're going to get into the last and final method. Alright guys, we're getting into the last and final method that will help you grow as an artist. So I have another reference sheet. I have another blank sheet at the bottom. No shading on the back of that sheet. And what you're going to do is, basically, I'll call this the flip sketch method. So basically what you're doing essentially is flipping the paper, and you're going to just kind of start sketching. So basically you're going to flip and sketch. So yeah, I just want to zoom out so you guys can accurately see what I mean by this. So essentially with this method, you just, it's like, I would say it's more tedious, but you really learn and understand proportions and not being reliant off of a trace. So like if you trace your stencil, you kind of get familiar with looking quickly at an image and remembering where the stuff is, but you also still can cross-reference to make sure that it's accurately lined up or proportionate with your reference picture. This method is okay. It is a bit time consuming and you do have to like really take your time and understand what you're doing, but it does help, and it's a great way to learn and understand how to cross-reference your reference picture, your photos, whatever you have. And you just, I don't know, I think it's a cool method. You're going to be moving a lot, and it can get a little bit harder when you get towards the middle, but once you have your general sketch and stuff, just prepare yourself for that motion a lot, but it does help. Yeah, that's all 3 of the methods that I've had. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite method, which one do you think or you feel would be best for you to use, which one do you feel is the easiest, or the one that you feel is best for beginner artists. Also, let me know if there's any that I've missed that you have thought of, that you know any methods of, in the comments below. Also, if you made it this far in the video, put a pencil emoji, just so I know that you made it this far, you tuned in. And yeah, that'll be the end of this video. The next clip that you'll see, it will be the outro. All right, y'all, that's all I have for y'all in this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. I hope that you were able to take some information home, and I hope that you were able to become a better artist with these tools, techniques that I've shown you in this video. What I want to see is you guys, I want to see what kind of stuff that you guys come up with. So feel free to DM me on Instagram, show me some of your pieces, some of your work, and take it from there. Make sure that if you are not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button and turn on that post notification so you do not miss an upload. We're climbing up the ranks, we're getting there. We hit 550 subscribers so far, so we're waiting to reach that 1,000 mark. At that 1,000 mark, I'm gonna have a nice surprise giveaway for you guys. So let's make sure that we're subscribing, liking the videos, commenting. Make sure you follow me on social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok, because I post those consistently. With that being said, make sure you guys are watching all my other videos. I have plenty of videos out there that teach you guys about anything with tattoos. With that being said, stay tuned, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Out here.